This is ContactTalkRadio.com. Consciousness in action. And you are taking action into your consciousness by tuning into Contact Talk Radio.
And on TuneIn.com, Hing.fm, and UpSnap Mobile.
Contact Talk Radio.
You're listening to Dear Venus with your host, Venus Andrecht.
Hi, everybody. Hey, really nice to see you. Wow, it's a fun day. I've got my daughter with me today, Summer McStravick. She's with the Flow Dreaming Show, the show that plays right before mine on the radio station. And today, we're going to be talking about love. And Summer, you're there, right?
Yes, I am. Hello, everybody.
Okay, I'm going to tell the date. I always like to tell the date. It gets me settled in where I am. January 29th, 2013. And I'm going to give out a phone number because we're taking your calls today after we do some chit-chat, first of all. But this phone number is for all countries. You can call us and ask about your love problems and issues, people in your life. Because we look into them, and we love it when we work together because you get double your money here. You get double advice. And we had a great time just last hour in Summer's show, the Flow Dreaming Show, where we did the same thing. But it's going to be different on my show, of course. Although it was pretty hot on your show, wasn't it, Summer?
Yeah, we explored a lot of parts of the body. Let's put it that way.
We certainly did, unexpectedly so. But here's the phone number to call us. It's 1-877-230-3062. And I did mention Summer has a Flow Dreaming Show. Anything you want to say to advertise yourself before I get into what I'm going to do here?
Oh, sure. For people who don't know, you can find the Flow Dreaming Show either through iTunes or my website, flowdreaming.com. And I teach and talk a lot about energy and how to use energy work, using flow energy, manifesting, creating. I do some work like my mom does, working to look in people's minds, see what their flow is doing, where it's taking them, looking in other people's minds. So hopefully we'll be a good complement to each other this hour.
Or either we'll get into a big fighting tangle over it.
Ooh.
We won't. That's just a joke, And Summer's been asking me and buddying me. He says, what are you going to do in your show? What are we going to talk about on your show? I go, well, love, I've been putting it off, Summer. I didn't want to tell you. Here's what we're going to do, okay?
Wow.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
We're going to talk about you and your side of the family.
Oh, no.
That's why I didn't tell you.
Why would we do this? No. I don't think so.
Yes. I'm in charge. This is my show. Now I'll let you run your show, right? Now I made a point of that.
No, you actually didn't.
I tried. Well, let's just get started.
Oh, Mother. Sometimes
I know people want to know more about you. And I was thinking about this the other day. I was in the shower. I was taking a nice hot shower. Summer?
Yes.
Come back here.
Okay.
I was taking a hot shower, and I was remembering how when I first married your dad, whose name is Ken, by the way, and her father's a very nice fellow. We're good friends, although we've been divorced for many years, but his name is Ken. Anyway, I was married to your father. We were pretty young. We were way too young to get married. I had just turned 22, and I was really immature, and your father was the same age. Mm-hmm. And I was taking this nice hot shower. You know how you enjoy yourself. All of a sudden, wham, I was hit with a tumbler of ice-cold water. Your father had leaned over the shower rail or curtain while I had my eyes closed, taking a shower, and he'd thrown this big, huge tumbler of ice-cubed, ice-cold water all over me. Imagine how that felt. I screamed bloody murder. It was a horrible shock. It's a wonder I didn't drop dead on the shower floor. And when I got back together, I was screaming, why did you do that? And he thought it was hysterically funny. He was laughing and laughing. He says, oh, my father always does that to my mother.
Oh, God.
To your grandmother, and I just couldn't believe it. And what I did, you know what I did?
Yeah.
The next time he got in and took a hot shower, and I don't know why it never occurred to him this might happen, I got this great big tumbler full of ice-cold water, and I got up in a little chair, and I just threw it over the shower, dumped it all over him. He screamed bloody murder. He never did that again. And I was thinking,
glad you broke the family tradition.
Yes, and I kept thinking, I was thinking yesterday, why did his mother not stop Leo, her husband, immediately. Why didn't she break him of that? According to Ken, he did it all the time. But apparently she didn't speak up, and I had no feeling about not speaking up. So, yes, we had to break that family tradition. Yeah. And then I was thinking, this led me to think about your great aunts, your father's great aunts, Ozzie, Ita, and Amy, remember?
Oh, I love those ladies. They lived in a single wide trailer together until they were over 100, and they were just the doddering older women who'd had the exciting lives, and they had the bright orange lipstick, and they penciled on their eyebrows, and they had these fabulous dark brown wigs that they continued to wear right up till the tippy end. You know, the ones from like 1972 that they kept wearing those wigs.
Yeah. I don't think your Ken's grandmother Amy wore a wig, did she? But I know Ita did for sure. I remember that brown curly wig. But so the story was that Ken's grandmother Amy, she had 2 kids, Ken's mother and Uncle Jim, and her husband had died in the war, so she was effectively single most of her life, and while her kids were growing up. Ita and Ozzie never married. Ida never married. Ida did have a boyfriend on the sly and on the side, which nobody really talked about. We're not sure what happened there because these 3 ladies lived together, roomed together. They were part of the family, and I was just thinking about them and the lives they led. And then, let me see. Oh, and then it led me to think about. Remember when Amy died, Ken's grandmother? She was really old, up to her hundreds or someplace, and she was sitting in a big leather chair in the living room with Ken's folks, and I think Ken may have been there. Anyway, and she just died in her chair. Boom, she was out. Wouldn't that be a nice way to go?
Oh, I think she had a glass of bourbon in front of her too. So I mean, that made it a double kind of nice easing out.
Easy passing. You know what I've noticed about women, old women? Some are old women who drink bourbon, whiskey, vodka, whatever. They seem to live into their hundreds, so we're going to have to start that pretty soon. But anyhow, so then your father, remember, he told us the story. The ambulance came, the paramedics, and they took her to the hospital. She was dead. Yeah. And he was driving behind her as fast as he could in his little old rattly truck. Oh, yeah. And they were at a stoplight, and all of a sudden, vroom! Amy her energy vroomed right out and right on him, and it just overtook him. And he knew she was fine and well, and he wasn't the kind of guy to think about life after death and all that. But ever since then, he said he's never been afraid.
Yeah, I do. I remember that. I certainly do.
And then I remember your Uncle Jim. This was your grandmother's or Ken's uncle.
Yeah.
And if you remember Uncle Jim, there was something not right with Uncle Jim, but nobody ever mentioned it. He just wasn't. There was something not right about the man. So when I first married into the family, I finally asked them, I said, what's wrong with Uncle Jim? And everybody said, and there were a lot of them, 6 kids and the parents, everybody said, what do you mean? There's nothing wrong with Uncle Jim. What are you talking about? There's nothing wrong with Uncle Jim. Nobody would admit to it. Nobody would see it. Nobody would. But this led me to another thought. I had a fine shower yesterday morning thinking all these things. And then I thought that Ken's dad was a lieutenant commander in the Navy, I guess it was, and he was always gone. So effectively, Uncle Jim was your dad's surrogate father. Yeah. And I think this affected your father. Your father's got some odd ways. I think he picked him up off odd Uncle Jim. What do you think about that?
I have no idea. I've never thought about it the way you've thought about it before.
Well, this all got me going because just family and love relationships and how things are intermingled. And then I was thinking of something else because your dad went into the Air Force and I thought we'd see the world. Well, we ended up in Jacksonville, Arkansas, where you were born, of course.
Yes, of course.
And she's a Southern girl. So I was thinking how I had friends in the neighborhood, women friends, the wives. And there was this one woman, and we were all young, and her husband, every day when he came home from work on the base, he would go around the house and see what kind of housework she'd done. And he always would check, she said, the tops of the door jambs to see if there was any dirt on them or dust.
Oh.
And I've often wondered, what happened to that marriage? Are they still together and he's still doing that? Or has he loosened up a bit?
Well, maybe she had dust OCD, and all she could really do was clean. Maybe that was her fulfilling,
No,
vision
I think he
or
had
something.
OCD. I think he expected her to probably be like his mother, who probably just all she had to do was clean the house, clean the house, clean the house, clean the house. And so he took it into his marriage. You know how people do. We take the same things we learn from our folks into the marriages that we have.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm so glad things have changed. I'm so glad.
Yeah, it's not quite the same. And then
No.
I got out of the shower and I thought about this book that I'm reading, and I just wanted to tell you, you think you have bad romances, people out there. You think you have bad luck with love, and I know a lot of you do because I work with a lot of you. There's this book called The Little Book of Heartbreak. Love Gone Wrong Through the Ages by Megan Laslocky. Good luck with that name. Laslocky. And I've got some pieces marked in here, and I just want to tell you this woman's story in brief. It starts around 1798, whatever. This girl, 14 years old, in, I believe it was India, she fell in love with this older, dashing officer. He was like in his 30s. He was very sophisticated, and he had friends in power, and so finally they got together. She was put together to marry this guy that she detested when she was 14 years old. And her mother and her aunt were on her side. They didn't want her to marry this man. They preferred that she get together with this guy named James, who's the one I just talked about, because the guy had a lot of political power, and so apparently they were looking to consolidate their position by getting this girl together with him. So they threw them together. They weren't married, but they threw them together. And so they had this relationship, sexual relationship, and it caused a lot of problems. And so James eventually stopped seeing her in public, but he saw her in secret. And then she got pregnant, of course. He didn't walk away, though. He quietly married her, and their son was born in 1801. And not long after, they had a second child that they named Nora Nisa or something like that. So they were perfectly happy. They got married in public or something, and everybody knew about them. They were very happy. They had their 2 children. His business was good. His standing was good. But then, as we all know, perfect happiness can turn on a dime.
Oh, no.
And when the son and daughter were 3 and 5 years old, as much as this woman resisted it, it was time to ship them off to England, where her husband came from, to be brought up as proper, well-educated British citizens. And in 1805, she had to say goodbye to her children. And they set off for London, and she knew she'd never see them again. Can you imagine?
Oh.
Can you imagine doing that with your kids?
No.
So James,
no, not at all.
James, her husband, had planned on catching up with them in Madras to say goodbye before they were to sail. He didn't make it in time. He fell ill, so he missed their sailing by 3 days. And he was sick and frantic with grief, and he rested a while, but it didn't help. And then he died. He died at 41.
Oh.
So this woman had 5 really happy years with her husband and children. Oh. Then they went off to England forever, and then her husband died. And then, because of circumstance and politics, her beloved family was gone, and then they took away her home as well.
Oh.
And then this other man married her that she thought was okay, but it turned out that he ran off and left her. So she'd lost all her family, she'd lost her home, she'd lost her husband, she'd lost the man she married again.
So wait, the kids are still over in England somewhere?
Yes, she hadn't seen them. And she was 27 years old, and she just lay down on the couch and died.
Wow.
And that was her life.
Whoa.
That was her love life. So I just wanted to put that out there. I know it's sort of a downer, but sometimes when you think, oh, gee, my love life is hard, how could anybody have such a terrible love life? I'm so unlucky. Think of that poor woman.
Oh,
anyway.
Yeah, that's horrible. That's horrible. That's not a very good story to share for Valentine's Day.
No, but now we're going to have to pick it up, aren't we? Pick it up by the ears.
Yeah.
So.
Let's do it.
There are good love relationships. Like, look at your great-grandmother on my mother's side, Grandma in Lancaster, as we call them. Yeah. Grandma didn't get married till she was 35. This was my grandmother, your great-grandmother. And she just didn't want to get married, so why should she? Well, women didn't do it like that back then. And she was engaged to the very famous artist, was it Andrew Wyeth? It was the first Wyeth. And I remember she told me that she broke the engagement. And I said, my gosh, why did you break the engagement to him? And she said, he bored me. Yes, that's my grandmother. And she came across the United States in wearing jeans and a Model T, and women didn't do that then. And then she met my grandfather, who was 7 years her junior, and you didn't do that then. He was a very handsome Marine, and she married him. They had a wonderful, happy together marriage. They had tragedies within the marriage, but they had a wonderful, happy marriage. If you remember, do you remember them? You remember them.
I do. I like to think maybe we got some of that in us.
Yes, and my grandfather was a wonderful, loving, good man. He was a real good role model. And they lived, I think they both lived to be about 88, and Grandma was senile for years and years, ever since I remembered her. Yes. But we walked in on one time. They lived in a little cottage on my folks' property as they got really, really old. And there they were making out on the couch, very intense making out when they were in their 80s. Yeah. And so there's a happy story. Mm-hmm. It happens. And in my own family, my brother Arthur is married to a lady named Mary Ellen. We always call them the happy couple. Yeah. They just get along, they're just happy. And when you get in a relationship that's really good, it's just easy compared to all the rest of them. It's just easy. You don't suffer over them. You don't worry about, do they love me? Do they not? What are they thinking? It's just like, it's natural.
Yeah, I think that's one of the hallmarks of a good relationship, is that always knowing where the other person stands, always knowing what they're thinking, never having doubts, never having to ask yourself, what's going on? What are they thinking? What don't I know? If you can keep the amount of confusion in your relationship down to 5%, you are in like Flynn.
Yeah, zero is better. Hey, Summer, we got to go to a break. But before we go to the break, do you want to mention the class we're going to be doing?
Oh, yeah. Coming up in February, Venus and I, my mom and I, are teaching a class together. We will be bringing flow dreaming in, which is what I do. I work with those energies to help you create and reshape and sculpt your life and your future along the lines that you want it. That class, and Mom, of course, you say what you're going to do in it, but you can find that information about the class at flowdreaming.com. Right there on the front page of the Manifesting Store, and I think the front page of the site, you'll see a banner that says, click here and you can learn all about it. That's coming up, I think the second week in February. No, the first week, the 9th. I think it's the 9th.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, 9th.
So we'll be together for an hour or a little bit longer doing a lot of stuff, all related, of course, to flow and relationships and love and mojos, and we have a good time.
Yeah, you're going to send me your wish, too. One wish, maybe a short paragraph of what you want, and I will go into you and look at you, and I'll put that wish into a form just for you, and I'll work on it to help bring it about for you until we get to the class. And when we have the class, I'll read to you what the wish is. And, of course, I'll be throwing out a good love mojo. So check it out. You're going to have a good time. All right, Summer, we got to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to take some calls and see what you're doing out there, what's happening in your love lives. And Summer and I are going to step in and see what we can do to straighten you out, right?
That's right. Absolutely.
Okay. This is Venus Andract with Summer McStravick and the Dear Venus Show.
Love and benefit from the good energy mojos that Venus has on her website? Do you sometimes feel it when she tosses mojos to you on her radio show? If so, you will extra like her paintings and wall switches, because as Venus paints, she fills her work with powerful, good energy mojos. Venus says, when you have these on your walls, your home or workplace is always filled with good mojo to help things in your life go better for you. When you purchase this very popular art from Venus, she also puts a personal mojo in the piece just for you. You can see and purchase all this great energy art on artmojos.com. That's artmojos.com. Intentionally bring more power of the universe into your life. Many people say that Venus's paintings are always working for them. Let them work for you too.
Some people tell me they listen to my archive radio shows at night because I put them to sleep. When I complain, they say, "Oh, it's the sound of your voice, Venus. I love it because it relaxes me." Well, okay, that's good then. You can find all my archive shows on iTunes, Pinterest, and YouTube. To find my live and other archive shows, please go to my website, godisalwayshappy.com, and look under radio on my site. That's godisalwayshappy.com. And sleep tight. Don't let those bed bugs bite.
Want to win a phone reading with Venus? Venus announces a new winner's name every Tuesday on her Dear Venus show. It's easy to get in the possible winners pot. Go to her website and look for the blue headphones. Click on them and you'll get a free MP3 mojo from Venus called No Matter What Happens, Everything Is Always Okay. People say Venus's mojos bring many good results into their lives. Clicking on the blue headphones puts you on Venus's latest mailing list where she draws the names for free readings. If you have never clicked on the blue headphones, you're not on the current list. Venus's website is godisalwayshappy.com. That's godisalwayshappy.com. And while you're there, look for more MP3 mojos that you can purchase for a nominal price. You'll be surprised at the happy results they may bring into your life. Are you ready to stop suffering over men? Are you seriously ready to be happy? Are you ready to have a great love life? Venus finally found the answers for an emotionally happy love life. She wrote the 5-star book about how you, too, can change your life with certain men, or even certain women. In it, you'll read the horrifying and funny true stories of Venus's former love life, and the true tales of many of her friends and clients, and how they all finally escaped the crying, whining, moaning, emotional trap to find real love and happiness. The ebook is titled Certain Men, How to Unlove Them, Unneed Them, and Replace Them with a Good Guy. It works with certain women, too. People say this book has saved their lives. You can read the first chapter on Venus's website, godisalwayshappy.com. You can find Certain Men as an inexpensive ebook at all the online bookstores. Certain Men. Are you ready to give them the boot? Are you ready for good love? Certain Men, the ebook by Venus Andrecht, now available at all online bookstores.
You're listening to Dear Venus with your host, Venus Andrecht.
So, welcome back. Yes, it's Venus Andrecht, and I have my daughter here, Summer McStravick, with the Flow Dreaming Show. And we're talking about love today, and we're going to be looking into your love lives and seeing what we can do. First of all, I want to mention that my next show, I have a show every Tuesday. Next show is February 5th, 2013, and the topic is OBEs, OBE, out-of-body experiences. And do you want to have one? We'll be chatting about that. And Summer, you've had a few examples of that, haven't you?
Yes, I have. Yes, indeed.
And
it's been a long time, but yeah. We
don't have time to discuss it, but we've had them. Okay, and I've got a blog coming out tomorrow, as you know. I have a blog every week at godisalwayshappy.com/blog. And you can find it there Wednesday. If you're signed up for subscription, it comes out, and that's free, by the way. It comes out sometime after midnight on Thursday. Or early Thursday? I always get mixed up. Anyway, I don't know the title. I've got it written, but I'm having trouble getting the title. I always like to get good titles. Also, hey, you know how I am about Facebook. I think they're doing a lot of stuff that's wrong. And the other day, I read this article, I sent it to you, Summer, about how Facebook is number 2 now to Facebook. I mean, Google Plus is second now to Facebook and catching up. So, point is, I've got a thing on Facebook. I'm not Google. I'm all mixed up. I'm out of my head already. I'm on Facebook, but I'm also on Google Plus under Venus Andrecht, all small letters. So I hope to see you there. Let's get busy, Summer. Let's get out here and get to work.
Okay.
We're going to look at the the studio here, and we just go like eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and let's just choose somebody. How about let's go with Roberta, somewhere in San Diego County. Roberta, where are you in San Diego County?
Hi, I'm right here. It's Escondido.
Escondido. Well, of course, I'm in Ramona.
Hey, Roberta.
Yeah.
Hi.
Roberta, have I talked to you before?
No, I have spoke with Summer, though.
Oh, okay, because I remember talking to somebody recently in Escondido. So you've got us both today, and what are we going to do with you? What do you need to talk about? What do you need to know?
Let's see. Where do I start?
Oh, no.
I'm sorry. I'm at the end of my marriage. I've been married for 15 years. We just never really connected, and it just continually went apart, and we have 4 kids, and I'm ready to move on.
Why do you sound so fuzzy? You sound like you're running water or something. Is that happening?
No. I kind of lost my connection with you guys just before you came on.
Oh. On a cell phone, maybe?
Can you hear me now? No?
You've been married, you were married 15 years, you have children, and your marriage is ending. Why is your marriage ending?
Because we've grown apart.
Mm-hmm.
He does his own thing. He does the bar scene. We don't do anything together, ever. And you can go into his head and...
Well, what is it you'd like us to look for? Roberta, what do you want us to ask him?
What I'm looking for is I just want to separate, go my own way, and move on. I want to find my soulmate. I know there's somebody out there for me. When I married my husband, I settled.
You settled when you married your husband. Okay, are you guys still living together?
Yes, we do.
Oh, that's never easy. All right. What kind of work does he do?
He owns his own cabinet business.
And his first name?
Derek.
Dick?
Derek.
I swear you seem so familiar to me, like I have talked to you before. Maybe you... I don't know why you're so familiar, but usually I remember people.
Yeah.
Or often
Roberta,
remember...
have I looked in Derek before?
No.
Okay.
Does she seem familiar to you, too, that way?
Yeah, maybe it's just that she's so close to us, physically and location-wise.
You
She's
think
local
so?
here. There's a familiarity.
Very weird. Okay,
Feel
Roberta,
about her. Mm-hmm.
Roberta, what kind of work do you do? It's not library work, is it?
No. I injured my knee working for Hasbro, and I'm looking for work. I was looking into getting into selling insurance. Every time I do, something happens to my knee, which is how I was originally injured. And I was looking into getting into, I want to become a speaker.
A speaker, okay. Well, you need a better connection. You need a better phone. We're just pulling your tail here, Roberta.
I know.
Okay, well, let's get busy and see what we can get, Summer, okay? And the husband's name is, again, Derek. Okay, so Roberta and Derek. What do you want to do? Oh, Derek just feels like he's got a lot of inertia, but you got some of it, too. It's like neither one of you can seem to get it moving or get the bicycle, pedal the bicycle. Summer, do you want to pick up from there?
Yeah, Derek, just as you said, you've created your own life. He's definitely got his own thing going. You guys, the inertia, I think, is the convenience that you're sharing because you're sharing the house still. You have a kind of roommate situation going on. I don't know that he will ever be propelled to really change it or get out or, maybe
so
when
easy.
another girl walks in the picture, but in the meantime, it's, it's the two twin bedroom
syndrome.
scenario. Yes. Mm-hmm. But he feels the one good thing is that you guys both feel like you're evenly in this space in your mind. It's not like one of you is being more loving and wanting it to continue and the other one isn't. You both feel like you recognize that you're done. It's just that there's, you don't have a plan for what's next.
Yeah.
You're done, but you stopped at the done point. It's like a racer who stopped at the finish line and now they're just sitting there. and they don't know what the next step is.
Yeah, and it's like, it's in a sense it's good for your kids because the family's still together, so to speak, and you can have your life, he can have his, so it's like, so why should we change anything? Why should we make it more difficult? Why should we have it cost us more money? It's like that. It's just like, let time pass. It's like time will just pass and pass, and the kids will grow up and leave home or whatever, and then you'll be stuck together, and then by then you'll go, well, maybe we should do something different. It's like both of you, I don't fault either one of you more than the other, both of you are not making it happen somehow.
But with you, Roberta, the thing that's lacking within you is that you aren't really looking for that next person, that next love of your life, who you want to be with. You're continuing to accept on the same terms that you got married, which is good enough. And that's not going to feed your heart. And I think that's something that's, ultimately you need. You can't keep gypping yourself out of that.
No. I was looking to get into insurance so I could financially support me and the kids and boot him out. Mm-hmm. Because the kids are like, when are you guys going to get a divorce?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because they don't want to live like this anymore, and neither do I.
Yeah, they recognize the distance.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. They're modeling a relationship right now, which is you stay with people you don't like.
Right.
Life traps you. So that's something else that you're thinking about, is getting into their minds.
And it seems to me that you are trying to get into insurance or something, but somehow you're blocking yourself, that you're not trying hard enough. There's a part of you that really doesn't want to. There's a lot of inertia here, even though you may want to hit me with a hammer for saying that and say it's not true. But I do feel that if you really, truly, truly had the energy to make the break and get a new life and change everything, you would move all the mountains on the street to get there to where you wanted. You wouldn't let anything stop you. And you both are like this. He's like this, you're like this. I think I need to do a mojo here, Summer.
Yeah, I know. I was just thinking I should put her in the flow or do something.
Oh my gosh!
If it was my
All
show,
right,
I'd give her a prescription flow dream. I'd say, "Here's what we're gonna do."
Yeah. Well, here's what I'm gonna do, Roberta. Here's what I'm gonna do. And for everybody out there who's maybe stuck in something, and it's just like you can't make it go this way or that way, and you want to, but wait till tomorrow. I just want to sit down and pass gas or something. It's easier, whatever. Yeah. It's just, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to stir you up a bit. Okay.
It's real.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is throw out some good energy. And as you know, on my website, I have a lot of different mojos for nominal prices. You can always go and get some for different things. GodIsAlwaysHappy.com. Look for it there. But this is just a specialized one for this situation. And I'm having trouble working with you and getting this out because, I'm just feeling as you and Derek feel. It's like I'm just sort of sitting on the couch here, and I'm just sort of weaving back and forth like a little plant, a weak plant in the wind, like, I'm going to put my head down on the table here. So I'm going to break this up. Everybody out there, if you're at work, jump up, throw your arms in the air. If you're in bed, jump out of that bed. I don't care what you're doing. Get this. Get ready to get this energy. Bam, bam, bam. Woo, 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 woo. Bam, 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 bam. You know what I saw happening? They were throwing pebbles, like ocean pebbles, at you to break up this energy. Tons of those pebbles, those small little round rocks you find on pebbly beaches, and they were just being thrown at you. They're energy pebbles to just break up this stagnant, moldy bank energy. Bam! Woo! All right, Roberta, I think we've done enough to you today, for you and to you today. Thanks for the call, honey.
Thanks, Roberta. Take care. Thanks for waiting, too.
All right.
All right. What time is it here? Oh, okay. You know what? It's almost break time. Should we talk about for a minute or so before we go to break, or should we just break? Do you have any splendid ideas? Oh, I want to get the phone number again because we got a line free because Roberta just hung up. 1-877-230-3062. That's all countries. Again, 877-230-3062. Feeling any love thoughts, Summer? Any words of wisdom, pearls, or anything exciting?
No, not really. Not really. Not that I can think of offhand.
Are we lost in a funk, both of us? Well, let's get out of the funk. Let's go for a break, and we'll get all defunct, and we'll be right back to take your calls. Venus Andrecht.
Sounds good.
With Summer McStravick and the Dear Venus Show.
Attention business owners and entrepreneurs. Are you looking for help with your online marketing? Or do you need a beautifully designed custom website that you can edit yourself at an affordable price? Contact Heather at StudioThirdEye.com. She will make it happen for you online, from website design, branding, social media, to getting found on the internet. You can reach Heather at StudioThirdEye.com. Heather's professional and fair and has many happy clients from small and mid-sized businesses. Find her at StudioThirdEye.com. That's Studio ThirdEye.com. Or you can email intuitiveinternet@gmail.com and tell her what you need to accomplish. Heather will make it easy for you.
Hi, I'm Venus's daughter, Summer McStravick. And as they say, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. That's why I think you might enjoy my podcast, Flow Dreaming. It airs live on Tuesday, right before Venus's show. Or you can find it on iTunes or at my website, flowdreaming.com. I work with energy and I look in people's lives just like Venus, except I call what I do flow dreaming, and I teach other people to manifest and create in their lives using this flow energy too. So I hope you'll check out my podcast, Flow Dreaming, on iTunes, CTR, or at flowdreaming.com.
Venus thinks the world needs cheering up. Let me tell you, her blog certainly does that. Every week it's a true story about her life and the people in it. Here are a few comments. Oh, thank you. I am laughing so hard. Every Wednesday it's great to start my day like this. And love, love, love to read your blogs. You always make my day. I have emailed your blogs onto many people this year. And your blogs are profound, prophetic, and wise. They make me laugh and cry and everything in between. And, okay, Venus, I almost spewed coffee out of my nose reading this one. Too funny. By the way, her family subscribes to her blog for their own protection. You can subscribe too. Just look for the orange-colored feed at the top of the blog. You can find the latest and often harrowing adventures in Venus's life at godisalwayshappy.com/blog. That's godisalwayshappy.com/blog.
Listening to Dear Venus with your host, Venus Andrecht.
Hi, welcome back. And I've got my daughter with me today, Summer McStravick, who has the Flow Dreaming Show. And we're talking about love, and we're reading people with problems with love for the most part. Looking into you, looking into the people you're concerned about, looking into situations, changing where we can, throwing mojos, etc. I wanted to mention that I've got another newsletter, e-newsletter, coming out tomorrow. This one is titled The Man with a Dehydrated Heart. I always like to do stories about clients I'm working with their permission, and tell you their stories, and we get some really hot ones. I've got another newsletter that's been out called I Lived with a Sociopath, another one, The Woman Who Ran Away, etc., etc. If you want to be on my current newsletter list, you need to go to my website, godisalwayshappy.com, and look for the blue headphones. Search around there, click on that. You'll get a free MP3 mojo that's got music, and it's called No Matter What Happens, Everything Is Always Okay, and you'll be on this particular newsletter list. And with this list, you're in the possible winner's pot to get a 10-minute free phone reading with me, because I do a lot of phone readings to help people with their lives. And I've chosen another winner, and the winner today is, for 10 minutes with me, Ale Ramirez. I believe it's Ale, A-L-E, Ramirez. And Ale, if you get in touch with me, we'll set it up. This is valid through February 4th, 2013. You can reach me through godisalwayshappy.com or my, email address, venus@venusandrecht.com. I'm a little goofy. I've been on 2 hours now. I've been on Summer's show, the hour before this, the flowdreaming.com show, and now we're on my show, the Dear Venus show. Summer, you just want to mention a really short little thing about the class we're doing, and then we're going to get to work on the lines here.
Well, sure, or you can mention it. We used to do classes pretty much every month together for years, and then now we've just been sporadically doing them here and there. So can't promise that she'll have a class together, we'll have a class together again this year. Don't know, but we wanted to do one for love, for relationships, thinking that this mother-daughter energy that we can kind of bring and our two different perspectives can push some of you along. I know we can get stuck in our feelings about, will we ever have a relationship? Will this relationship ever get better? Will the right person ever come into my life? So in February, we're going to try and tackle that. About an hour and a half together, joining our energies and our focus and getting into our flow, doing a lot of work together. So we're going to do this class. You can find it at flowdreaming.com, by the way. I also have a lot of other stuff there that you might want to check out if you want to learn more about flow dreaming, including some podcasts where you can understand what the technique is and so forth. So check it out if you haven't seen it or heard of it before.
All right, let's get back to work here, Summer. I'm looking at the studio calls, and let's go with Kim in St. Louis. Kim, hello.
Hello there. Hi.
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 Welcome. What do you want us to look at today, Kim?
Well, I'm very surprised to get on, and thank you so much for
You're welcome.
my call. So I have a nephew who is 15, about 15 and a half, and he's made some poor choices, and in school that's gotten him either, first he was suspended, now he's been expelled for a year, and he's now in a rehab, and I don't know the exacts of it, but I was hoping we could just look into him and give him a little boost, a mojo, or something, just to say like, hey, you're a bright, great kid, and
let's give him a little pinch, shall we?
Yeah.
Why was he in rehab? Was he into drugs, alcohol?
He was caught selling weed.
Oh, okay.
So marijuana at school.
Okay.
And I don't know everything about it, but it's
okay.
It's been depressed.
Well, we're gonna go straighten him out.
Right.
Kim, what's your nephew's name? What do you call him?
Trevor.
Trevor where is he?
He's in St. Louis, Missouri.
St. Louis. So let's just run through Kim really fast to get Trevor here. Trevor. What color hair does Trevor have?
Dirty blonde.
Dirty blonde Trevor, where are you? Okay, I feel him coming.
I've got
Trevor.
him. Yeah, I got him.
Yeah, and he's resistant. He's like, I'm dragging him along by the neck of his T-shirt.
That's
him.
Or his hoodie.
Yeah, he doesn't want to come. He's being dragged, and I've got a hold of him by his shirt. It's whatever shirt he's wearing under his hoodie, but I've got my hand on the back of his neck and his shirt, and I'm just dragging him along. And he's very stubborn, and he doesn't want people to tell him what to do, and he knows best about his life, and he's really angry with people for trying to run his life, and he thinks he's older than he is, right? In his mind.
I'm not sure. He doesn't say much.
Well, this is what I'm getting from him inside. Okay. He feels very stiff, like he's not going to loosen up for anybody or listen to anything. Summer, do you want to check him out and then we'll work on him?
Yeah, and people respond differently to different people. So Trevor with me, he's not being as cagey as he's being with you, maybe because you're a little more mommish with him right now. I'm not sure. He's
more forceful.
Yeah. With me, I'm just kind of looking at what he's looking at. I see his friends. I see his circle of friends. I'm not seeing a lot of guys with a lot of ambition or desires. It just so reminds me of being 15. They have this mindset that the present is everything. Now is everything. College and this and that and what we'll do next. That's all, eons away. So, for him, selling a little pot, it's just like, he didn't really get why it was such a big deal.
Right.
Everybody smokes it. It's what we all do. What's everybody's overreacting. That kind of thing. He just feels very comfortable with this group that he's in.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I think it's similar to what I'm feeling. He doesn't want to be pulled out of it or anywhere else by adults.
Mm-hmm.
He's very resistant to that. So I'm going to go have a chat with him right now, and I'll say it. What?
You chat with him. I just have an idea, because looking at him, he really needs to be encouraged to do something spectacular. It sounds very out of nowhere, but whatever he wants, whatever he's into, if someone could get him passionate about it, could move his sights away from this aimless meandering that he's doing. And I don't mean even academics or, Harvard, big, anything like that. Just, I don't know, BMXing or just something that he could get into and spend a heck of a lot more time doing. But he's got to have an adult push him to make him do it. Make him do it.
I just saw him doing something very strange. It was like he was bending over a cage with rabbits in it. Does he have any interest in animals? Do you know?
He's grown up with lots of animals. His mother works at an animal hospital. So and his mother's home is out in the woods where they can have
he needs more of that. He has an affinity for animals, and I could see him doing something like work in an animal shelter, learning to be an animal tech person before he gets into whether he wants to be a veterinarian or whatever. But he needs to work to help animals and to be with them, and that would get him away from himself and his troubles and his worries and this and that. That would be a good place to start. He has a heart for it.
Nice. Okay.
So what I'm going to put into his mind, I'm going to say it out loud. I want to do something with my life. I want to do something good for animals, for other people. I want to help. I am independent and I have my own life and my own way of thinking, but when I'm older, I can do more of what I want and live the way I want. Right now, I need to fill my life with things where I'm helping other helpless creatures, like I feel. He's felt helpless, like he's at the mercy of anybody and everybody else and what they want him to do, what he can't and can do. He needs to help others like him. In this case, I'm seeing animals often feel the same way, okay?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, let's move on, shall we? Thank you, Call.
Thank you.
Call. Thank you, Kim, for the call.
Thanks. Bye.
All right, bye.
Bye, Kim. Take care.
I swear, I get out there and I can't even talk anymore.
I know.
All right, Summer, let's go with Sarita in Phoenix, okay? Sarita, hello.
Hi, Venus. This is Sarita.
Yes.
I'm new to your show. How are you?
Well, good. I'm glad you found the show. I'm fine. And Summer's with me here, my daughter.
Excited.
Hi, Sarita.
Well,
nice
so what are we looking for today? What's going on with you?
Well, I'm totally confused. I had a dream November of 2011. I had a dream. It was a real dream. Someone asked me in the dream if I was searching for a Terry Quinn. I said no. And the dream person lady told me, well, he'll see you next week. And exactly 1 week, I met this person named Terry at Home Depot.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
But I didn't recognize it until I laid down that night, and I felt like the Spirit said, you met Terry today. I ran and got his card, and sure enough, his name was Terry, but not Quinn. But the thing of it, and he asked me before we, departed out of the Home Depot store, he asked me for my Facebook page number, name or contact. And then he asked me, requested a friendship. Only I'm confused because he's married. And I don't know if this was I really am desiring to be married. And I don't know if this is a person, but why is he married? I can give you this. I'm just confused about it.
I can see why. It's not often that somebody comes to us at night and says, hey, you're going to meet this Terry Quinn and you need to go. It can mean nothing more than that you were showing something that was going to happen a few days ahead of time. It's like part of your development as a reader or a psychic or somebody who knows things, just to prove to you. It could be something like that. I haven't really looked into it yet, but I wouldn't naturally jump to the conclusion that he's the man of your dreams. How did you feel about him when you met him?
Well, it was actually somebody I used to work in a building with, and I didn't remember him when I saw him. I mean, he's a nice person, but, we're pretty much, we just would walk into the building at times, from our car because we'd park, but I didn't recognize him when I saw him. Didn't remember him.
But Sarita, what would make you think that he would be your soulmate just because somebody told you that in a dream? I happen to think that people who are dead often don't know as much as we do or as much as we think they do. They don't know everything on the other side. Again, it could be someone just pointing out to you that you're going to meet somebody. Here's his name. This proves to you that you can see ahead in time, that I'm here talking to you, looking after you, etc.
Oh, okay.
Maybe you just jumped too high over a conclusion, and now you're all puzzled and disaffected and whatever. Summer, do you see anything there?
Well, I'm just thinking about, I've had things happen to me like this as well. I remember two names that jumped in my head like a bullhorn, when I was sleeping. It was a dream. I woke up, I wrote the names down. The next day I Googled every possible, variation of that name to see who are they talking about. And I thought, well, if they're connected to work or they're connected to a family member, or, is there any other, 6 degrees of separation to these people? I couldn't find a thing, nothing.
Yeah.
But I've had names, full names with this sense of importance. There's an attachment to the names come in. And I think, Sarita, that's what you had as well. And likewise, I'm baffled by it too. I wish I could say it's flow at work. It's, the coincidence. It's, a manifestation of a clue. And yet, sometimes the clues don't seem to go anywhere. So, I would say pursue it. I would think it's great you did, but I don't think you need to go chasing after the married Home Depot guy either. So
exactly, exactly.
It could be very well what I said, Sarita. Somebody just passing through and gave you a message and see, go for it, and see, you'll find out I told you true or this or what, and that could all it would be. I would probably be looking more to see who is talking to me, who is around me on the other side, who is giving me information, and for what reason. That would say to me that you are more sensitive than perhaps you know, and you're more of an open radio system than you realize. You pick up signals. Do you know this about yourself?
Yes, I do.
Well, there you go, honey.
Yeah.
So
and
you may
I would
just
love to.
You may just be in training. You may be in training for this ability to make it better, and there may be other things that are shown to you and that you will prove out, and you go, oh yeah, then I guess I do know what I'm doing, that kind of thing. Yeah, because people like us who are real sensitive, and like Summer was saying, we pick up the weirdest stuff sometimes. Okay. I have people talking to me a lot of time at night during the day, and they'll just drop in weird comments and things, and I go, well, why did you say that? Or where did that come from? It wasn't anything in my head, but somebody dropped it in. Maybe they were just passing by,
Yeah, It's true. It's like interrupting a cell tower, you know?
Stray radio waves, right.
Okay, I'll accept that.
All right, so I hope you can just feel better, relax with it, and, go to bed and dream some sweeter dreams.
Okay, can I ask you one more favor, please?
Sure, what is it?
I have a son who had, who was in, and when he was younger, was in 2 major car accidents. The last one was 5 years ago, broken neck, almost died. I was just wondering if you could go in his head and just slow him down. He sings gibberish. He doesn't quite, I'm just wondering, because the things that he does, his mind is going 100 miles an hour. He's a brilliant guy.
Mm-hmm.
But he's about to quit if he hasn't already turned in his resignation for a job. I'm just wondering if you can help me. Is he all right mentally?
What's his first name?
You want his birth name or what we call him?
What you call him?
Reggie.
Has he always been this way or just since the accidents?
Just since the accident.
Because what I'm thinking is he could have been shaken and rattled so things aren't where they used to be.
Yep.
In his head, and that's the sense I'm getting, that he feels himself that he's not the same as he used to be. Yeah. I feel like he needs, maybe some chemical alterations. I mean, seeing somebody who can find out what's off in his brain, and also maybe some craniosacral therapy to get things back in order. He's gone out of order somehow, and he's as confused by it as you are. Summer?
Okay.
You know what I feel with Reggie? It's more a sense inside of him that he's misplaced something.
Yeah.
He feels like
himself.
It's like when you leave a hotel and you keep thinking you left something in the room.
Yeah.
That's a feeling that he gets in his life now. He misplaced something. There's something he forgot.
Okay. So what he needs to do, he needs like massage, cranial sacral therapy. He needs somebody who can work with brain chemicals, somebody who can help him get back in order, maybe Reiki. I mean, there's all kinds of things out there. I would look until he found it to get himself back together until he feels like, he's reconnected, that he's back, that he's himself. That's what I'm getting. And it sounds like Summer's getting the same thing.
I feel he can be reconnected though. It's nothing so, there may be some scarring. Oddly enough, I'm getting a sense too, but it's something that could be worked around. It's not severe. It's just he has to start letting go of this sensation that he's lost something or can't find something or something's not where it's supposed to be. It frustrates him everywhere.
Yeah, a shock to his system. Just rattled him up. I keep getting the word. It just rattled his brain, rattled him up, and everything got out of sync. Yeah. But okay, we got to go because they're saying at the studio we got to go. But Sarita, we'll be thinking good thoughts for you and your son. Bam, bam, bam. Woo, woo. Good health and perfect harmony. Bam. All right, Summer McStravick, thank you so much for being with me. This is Venus Andract with the Dear Venus Show. And join us on our Love class, teleclass, February 9th. You can find the details on Summer's website, flowdreaming.com. Talk to you soon. Bye.